There's a cost to not clarifying when someone communicates with you and you don't fully understand. I was responsible for a huge multi-million-dollar expense savings program for a Fortune 500 company, and I had spent a couple of months doing research to figure out for every single division and every department where money was being spent on expenses, ongoing regular expenses, that could be trimmed down so that over the entire company we could save $5 million in the course of a year, and that would be ongoing expenses, so we would never spend that $5 million again. And so I'd gotten to know all the presidents and all of the people in the divisions and all the accountants and financial guys, and had put together a plan for every single group to make a few changes here and there that would save $5 million. And I was presenting it to the president of the whole company in advance of presenting it to all of the heads of the different parts of the company to launch the program, basically. So I'm meeting with the president. He looks through it, looks through my presentation and says, "This is great. I just want you to know, Alyssa, you're the quarterback on this one." And I said, "So what you're saying, sir, is I have the ball." And he said, his face lit up, and he said, "Yes, you have the ball." And that was that. Well, clearly I did not know what a quarterback does. When I heard "you're the quarterback," I heard that he wanted to motivate me. He wanted to inspire me. And I wanted to please him. I wanted him to feel comfortable talking to me. I wanted him to feel like he'd gotten his message across. So I agreed with him. I thought, I have the ball. And I proceeded to do everything I could to get that ball across the goal line. I was going to hold on to that ball and not drop it no matter what. I was going to carry it across the goal line because that's what I thought a quarterback did. I thought a quarterback carried the ball across the goal line. So I was working harder and harder and longer to keep this program totally on time and in place, and I had targets for every couple of weeks of how much we were going to save, and I was tracking everything, and it was a lot of work. Not only just a lot of work, but also just a lot of keeping track of things and databases. And one time he came to my office and said, "Alyssa, I see that you're working very hard on this. And we've got a guy who has some free time. He's got an accounting background. He could take off your plate some of this stuff that's just kind of tedious, just kind of number crunching. You don't have to be doing that. Why don't you just hand it over to him?" And my first thought was, he doesn't think I can do it. And I said, "Sure, I'll ask him if he's interested." And I did. I went over and said, "You wouldn't really be interested in doing this, would you?" And he said, "Well, if you need me to, I'd be happy to." And I said, "Well, no, it's okay. I can do it." And so what I did was I did more work at home so that my boss wouldn't see me and think that I couldn't handle it. I managed to save $5 million over the course of the year. But I did it not being the quarterback. I did it in the way I thought the quarterback would do it. Carry the ball across the goal line. Those of you who are listening to me who know what a quarterback does are laughing. Those of you who don't know what a quarterback does, let me tell you, the quarterback's job is to make sure the ball goes across the goal line using whatever means are at his disposal. He can pass the ball to someone else, which is what the president was telling me to do. Pass this ball, this part of it, this play, pass it off to someone else. Let him run. He can hand it to somebody. He can tell the kicker to kick it. Sometimes he carries it across the goal line, but moving it down the field happens through a whole lot of other people. I totally had missed his point. I spent a whole year working and working in a way that was completely different than he actually expected me to work. So when somebody tells you something and you're not quite sure you get it, ask for clarification.